This IRB presentation covers a variety of IRB information, the basic information as well as information about research projects, the IRB research proposal, and some of the forms. We start out by discussing the IRB and the guidelines that the IRB follows for review and research proposal approval. The IRB is a committee. It consists of faculty members from the degree programs that supply the most IRB applications and research proposals for review. It includes staff members, a required external member, sometimes referred to as a community member. Alternate members attend meetings only when a primary member is absent. The members are diverse. They're not in the same profession. Master's faculty, PhD faculty, PsyD faculty, and of course the external member. The IRB reviews all human subjects research proposals for studies involving more than minimal risk. It ensures protections for humans in high-risk research studies. The IRB coordinator chairs the committee, serves as the meeting moderator, and reviews all other IRB research applications and proposals. IRB information is available on Campus Web. Under the Offices tab, you can find the IRB information and the IRB handbook, which contains detailed information about IRB processes and procedures. On the eForms tab, Institutional Review Board folder, you'll find the IRB course enrollment form. When you complete and submit this form, you will need to wait 24 hours before you will be able to access the course, complete the course. Also in that Institutional Review Board folder, you'll find all IRB forms. The IRB Human Subjects Research Training course is available under My Courses in Campus Web. Research designates an activity designed to test a hypothesis, permit conclusions to be drawn, and thereby to develop or contribute to generalizable knowledge. And generalizable knowledge is research intended to be shared, published, presented to colleagues, intended to have an impact on others within one's discipline. And research intended with the intent to influence behavior, practice, or future research is contributing to generalizable knowledge. The ethical principles that cover human subjects research include the U.S. Code of Federal Regulations 45 CFR Part 46 and the Belmont Report. The principles of the Belmont Report include respect for persons, beneficence, and justice. And the Belmont principles provide the regulatory criteria for IRB approval of human subjects research projects. Respect for persons means that researchers treat individuals with respect, in that they allow subjects to decline to participate in some or all research activities. Subjects are allowed to refuse to answer some questions. They're allowed to withdraw at any time, and researchers protect subjects' privacy and confidentiality. They also protect subjects with diminished autonomy. Justice in research means equitable selection of participants, fair recruitment in terms of selection of subjects, justifiable inclusion and exclusion criteria, equal opportunity to benefit or not to benefit. Subjects may not be selected only because they are easily accessible, they're convenient, or likely to be more easily persuaded to participate. And beneficence means do no harm. Maximize possible benefits while minimizing or mitigating possible risks. The IRB at Union believes that participants in research projects do not always have to benefit directly from their participation, as long as the study has a strong likelihood that it will benefit others. And benefits must always outweigh risks. At Union, Researchers planning to conduct human subjects researches under the auspices of Union Institute and University are required to submit an IRB application for review and approval before that research may be conducted. Researchers planning to conduct theoretical or creative research at Union are also required to submit an IRB application and research proposal before their research can be conducted. Additionally, the IRB wants to know that you know which professional association is appropriate for your concentration, whether you're a member or you will join. You need to know that that professional association has ethical guidelines for human subjects research that you need to follow. The IRB also wants to see resumes for researchers and co-researchers to verify that all researchers have the qualifications for the type of study that they wish to conduct. In the types of research, exempt research involves humans in some way, no more than minimal risk, which is no more than what participants regularly experience in daily life. And exempt research does not collect personally identifiable information. The kinds of questions that can be asked in these exempt research typically are process and procedure type questions, or sometimes referred to as how do you do your job questions. No demographic, opinion, or feeling questions because they are personal. Opinions, especially those of well-known people, may be easily recognizable, so they will no longer be anonymous and their information will be public. The IRB needs to see interview and survey questions to determine the level of risk associated with the study. So exempt researchers often need to submit their questions to the IRB before determining whether their study is eligible for exempt or expedited. Exempt research may also use de-identified data retrieved from publicly available databases such as the consensus or high school testing scores that may be available on some state Department of Education websites. Personally identifiable information is any information that can be used to distinguish or trace an individual's identity, such as their name, social security number, biometric records alone, or when combined with other personal identifying information that is linked or linkable to a specific individual, such as a date and place of birth, mother's maiden name, and so on. Other examples include home address, postal code, email address, social security number, passport number, digital identity, IP address, physical vehicle license plate, name of high school attended or workplace. In addition to driver's license number, face, fingerprints, handwriting, credit card numbers, age, gender, race, genetic information, telephone numbers, criminal record, first name, last name, in any combination with any items on this list if they are not encrypted. Expedited research involves no more than minimal risk, and it includes interaction with humans, collects personally identifiable information, and may include opinions and feeling questions. Full research involves more than minimal risk, may include pre- and post-testing with intervention, may include children or more sensitive topics and questions. The full IRB committee will review these research studies at a regularly scheduled monthly meeting. The IRB application and all study materials must be submitted 1 month prior to the scheduled monthly meeting. And the meeting schedule is available in IRB information on Campus Web. Theoretical research involves extensive literature review, review of historical documents or other document or literature review, requires a 1-page study summary about the sources of data collection and analysis. Theoretical research studies receive administrative IRB review to verify that no human subjects are involved. Creative research may involve choral presentations, playwriting, novel writing, poetry, artistic displays, or gallery openings. Again, a study summary is required that should include clear descriptions of all forms of data collection analysis methods. And it also receives administrative IRB review. Other research studies issues involve pilot studies, which are a 2-step process typically. If the researcher wants to field test, interview, or survey questions before starting the main portion of the test of the research, sometimes researchers will just conduct a pilot study with that is just one part, does not have a main portion. Subjects for the pilot study should be from the target group, but not the same subjects. Revised questions, any updates to the research proposal, and any other documents need to be submitted to the IRB for review and final approval to proceed with the main portion of the study. And also, translations of all study documents are required when study participants are non-English speakers. Videotaping of interviews or other study activities should be for data collection only. The reason is that when dissertations are submitted to ProQuest, anyone who chooses to buy the dissertation will also receive the videotape. The researcher will not be able to control the distribution, nor to maintain privacy and confidentiality of the participants in the study. The purpose of the IRB research proposal is to focus only on the research study and to present all study information in a concise format. Do not omit any items in that listing of items in the research proposal. Do not submit the dissertation research proposal. That is too much information, and it is not focused strictly on the parts that are needed for IRB review. If any part of the research proposal doesn't apply, use NA and try to limit the proposal documentation to 15 pages if possible. The lit review is where the researchers should compare and contrast their proposed studies with previous studies and explain how their study improves on or looks at the same topic in a different way. If researchers are using instruments created by someone else or they purchased, they need to include validity and reliability data for studies in which those instruments were used previously. Try to limit the lit review to no more than 5 pages, but supply at least 3 pages. Documents that should be in the appendices are all recruitment scripts, consent forms, interview survey questions, approval letters for research locations, perhaps a confidentiality agreement for the transcriptionist or data analyst, resumes, and remember that your research is also scholarship, and all study documents given to participants must be error-free. You are representing yourself, but you are also representing Union Institute and University, so therefore do your best work. Appendices can be attached at the end, after the research proposal and lit review in the same file, or they can be attached in separate files. The important point about recruitment is that a script is provided to help the researcher ensure to include all pertinent information about the study, what the study is about, risks, benefits, compensation, what they'll be asked to be doing, and to create interest. You can recruit by email, telephone, in group presentations, in a flyer or poster, or in a study summary. Snowball recruitment is not acceptable. Asking parents, friends, family, or colleagues to provide contact information for their friends, family, and colleagues will not be approved. Many people don't like having their contact information given to strangers. The better way to handle recruitment in these situations is to prepare a study summary to hand out to people so that they can hand out to others and let potential participants call you to ask questions or to volunteer. The consent process is more than just the form. It includes recruitment. It involves determining when, where, and how the consent form will be presented to participants, whether you will review it at the time a participant arrives for an interview, how you will obtain signatures, and how you will keep participant names and signatures secure. The IRB recommends separating signed consent forms from all other data collection documents by placing them into manila envelopes. The consent process also includes the essential elements of consent, which means a statement that the study involves research, contact information for the researcher, and we recommend using the union email address so that the investigator's private email address is kept private. Statement of the purpose of the research, procedures, what participants will be asked to do, statement that is voluntary, no penalty for refusing, and that they can discontinue at any time. Also, how much time they can expect being in the study, reasonably foreseeable risks or discomforts, and remember that all studies have some forms of risks. So a statement that a study has no risk is not accurate. Even embarrassment is a risk if the questions or the topic is sensitive. Reasonably expected benefits to the subject or others, and how the researcher will maintain confidentiality and privacy of the records and information, and how long it will be maintained. Legal statements in our comprehensive informed consent form that are required. Our lawyer provided these statements, and we are required to use them. In the third statement, remember that this document, the informed consent form, is a template. So you may take out thesis or final document if you are planning to publish in a dissertation, or you can keep dissertation and final document. But remember to remove what you will not need, and that includes that last sentence addressed to PsyD students. And here is the signature block. This statement above the signature block also needs to remain and to be in all consent forms used with Union Institute and university research projects. You need to remember consistency throughout the research proposal and all study documents. You need to report what participants will be asked to do consistently, especially on documents that you will give to participants, how much time they'll be involved, risks and benefits, and dissemination of results, where you're going to publish it, how you're going to use it. And also, if you will be doing online research, you still need to have a consent form, and the IRB has an internet consent statement and debriefing available on Campus Web. This form would be inserted before the first question, and the program needs to direct anyone who checks the I do not agree box out of the study. So you need to make sure that the program does kick someone out of the survey if they do not agree. They should not be able to hit next and go to the first question. If you choose to use the debriefing, it would be inserted after the last question. Use the debriefing to provide more information about the study or to thank participants, and then you would have a submit button for participants to click. Class research is typically limited to the class environment, so therefore it doesn't qualify as contributing to generalizable knowledge. But if students want to use some of the use the results from a class project in a dissertation, they have to apply to the IRB and get approval before they can start that study or before they can use it. In the approval letter or email will state that the class projects results may be used in the dissertation. Thank you.